Hello, 1471 subscribers. Usually, your favorite YouTube gurus are saying how much money they've made by doing certain things or launching certain businesses. I have my AI automation agency for a year and a half now, and today I want to show you how much money I would have made if I would follow very simple rules and do specific things that would help me to close more deals. In this video, I shared a lot of things on how I got my first client and what strategies did I use. Essentially, I was and still run the cold outreach using cold emails. When I was starting out, I was running the cold emails campaigns for 3 months. I approximately sent 70,000 emails, spent around $2,000. I actually did close 2 demos. It means that the people were interested and they paid me. Again, these are the approximate numbers. They paid somewhere between $200 to $400 per demo that I delivered to show them what I'm capable of. And then I closed 1 client. So essentially, I made $7,000 approximately. So dividing the expense for the domains, the softwares, the lead list, and the emails, I've made around $5,000. Obviously, this is the estimate. Again, I've sent a lot of emails, I hopped on a lot of sales calls. I think there may be 1 or 2 people that actually did reach out back to me within, the next 2 to 3 months. So there are obviously more money that came from, sending 70,000 emails, but let's keep it simple. So it's $5,000. I hopped on about 60, 70, maybe 80 sales calls. Again, you can go and watch this video where I provide the exact stats. But essentially, these are, again, the very raw numbers that I remember from my head because I cannot reach my first cold email account that I was using to run these campaigns. And since I closed 1 client, my closing rate was 1.3%, so somewhere between 1 to 1.5%. And your, favorite people who you trust are saying that, they close 10% of the clients, 20% of the clients. Again, I'm not saying that they're lying. They probably are, depending on who's saying this. But the idea is that it depends on the niche. Since first I was not experienced in, selling something live, I used to, have brands on Amazon and launching products like e-commerce brands on like different marketplaces. So I didn't have an experience on selling like the services on the calls. Plus, the AI was still pretty new and it still is. And it's very hard to sell to the businesses if they are not looking for the solution, since this is the cold outreach. But I was thinking about this lately a lot and was trying to figure out, okay, so what's different right now? Obviously, the fact that I have the YouTube channel and the fact that, I kind of have a digital presence right now, I have the case studies, so it's much easier to close the client. But still, what I would do different if I would, start out right now. So this is kind of a very simple outline. Essentially, there is a first touch, right? It could be a DM, email, phone call, or ad creative, depending on the strategy that you use. Same way, if you're not, running any paid outreach or paid campaigns, maybe you already, have the clients from your previous business. Maybe there's a referral, but still, like, there is a first contact. And by the first contact, you present your offer, right? So, and you can do it in like a lot of different ways. If we separate them and keep it simple, there's a commodity offers and the value offers. The things that I'm gonna show you right now are very simple, right? So it is obvious for me right now, and maybe it's obvious to you if you watch the videos on how to properly sell your services. Everyone is saying the same thing, but the problem is that we do not execute it. Plus, there's a very, very little nuance that I want to pay your attention to that I think would make a big difference. So obviously there is a commodity, like when we say we build automations, we do SEO, we produce the content. So we are like kind of saying what we do and not focus on the final result, right? This is called commodity. Or when we do focus on the result, if you read Alex Harmozy $100 million offer. I did not read it. I don't read books at all. You probably did. So you tell me if I'm explaining this correctly. But from what I understand, essentially you need to focus on the result, right? So you will increase your CTR, will save you 5 hours per week, will bring you X amount of money. It doesn't matter what niche you are in. If you are providing a service as a freelancer, as an agency to the business, this is kind of how you need to structure your offer. But here's what I noticed. People don't trust shit when you are doing the cold outreach, especially if you focus on the result. If you will approach 100 clients and say, hey, whatever, like Josh, we will bring $100,000 to your business, or you don't pay. Usually it means that Josh pays, and if you don't do that, you do the refund, right? No one trusts this shit, okay? And not because you're like a no-name, but more because Josh usually is not like stupid. Josh is usually in the business for some time. So if some random dude comes to Josh and say, hey Josh, you were doing like your business wrong. I can drive more sales to you. Like if you just say it like that, Josh will not go with you in terms of to continue the conversation, because he will think that you're bullshitting. Obviously, if Alex Harmozy will come to the Josh and say, hey Josh, your business is shit, so here's, I can bring more money. Obviously he has the reputation, but I and you don't, compared to the Alex Harmozy. So how, do we then approach the offer? I think you need to show the steps on how would you do that, right? So how would you achieve a certain results using certain steps? And it will look something like, we will automate estimate generation, thus, save you more money. Or we will replace your SDR, like the salesperson, thus save you the time. Or we will automate your onboarding process, thus save time, or bring more money into the business. Again, maybe this applies only to the AA agency, which I don't think so. But here, people don't want to, know technical details, obviously, especially when it's a first or second email. But they still need to understand, okay, so how would you do that? So in the ideal world, obviously, you can do something like, we bring you 5 new leads. You're not saying we will bring you, 50K dollars. So this is kind of the next step. We will bring you money by bringing new leads. But again, just my observation, people still want to learn, okay, so how would you, bring new leads? Okay, so you're not talking about the money. So when you talk about the leads, it's something more tangible. But then how? Because I've been in the business for 10 years. So, what I don't know. But then when you say something like, we will, bring you 5 new leads by booking appointments and reactivating your dead leads, something like that. And this is kind of the hardest part, because when you are doing the cold outreach, right, you don't have too much time with the people to talk to, right? So let's say here, I have a few cold emails campaigns that I was using a while back. I'm not even sure when, maybe it was, so it was probably at that time when I was starting out. So you can see here, that if you look, closely, I went through, was the campaign for a pet niche, for an e-commerce pet niche. And if you watch any of my videos, you see that I don't recommend to go with e-com. But again, I was, testing a lot of different offers. So here I say, hey, I went over exploring this site, very basic thing. And, no AI integrations yet. In your pet niche, whatever, like the customers recommend loyalty, upsells can easily increase 30-20%. So yes, kind of you can say, yeah, Eugene, you kind of mentioned that, AI powered tools like product recommendation, loyalty loops, upsells, these are the tools that will help you to grow, to increase your revenue by 20 to 30%. If you will just, okay guys, go ahead, make a screenshot, copy this template and try to do the cold outreach. No way you're gonna get the clients and the positive replies, especially in the e-com niche. Because this is very vague, everyone is saying the same thing. But if I would potentially, say something like, hey, again, you would need to do the research and the personalization if you're doing the cold outreach. Or let's say this is a pet supplement company, and if you would say something like, hey, I noticed your people are complaining about the some sort of like vitamin C ingredient in your package. So what if we add there are like bad reviews on, let's say, Amazon or Trustpilot on the website, but on the website you don't have like bad reviews because they deleted. And, if we would, integrate the AI that can potentially call these people and offer refunds so that they don't, post negative reviews. Obviously, you cannot call on Amazon. There are a lot of moving parts, but you can kind of get an idea, right? So you are attaching a very, technical thing to a tangible benefit that the business can receive. And in the e-com, it's very, very hard. But when we're, talking about simple niches like manufacturers or like service-based businesses, HVAC, insurance companies, lawyers, clinics, all these things, they have, a lot of different processes. And if you say, hey, we can do this, X for you, save you X amount of hours, or replace this person by doing, this thing, or by doing this thing, you'll have much more, the chances of success will be much higher. So let's actually see my other, campaigns. So that was for vet clinics. Okay, so your document automation services got under my radar. I'm not sure what's the document automation services related to veterinary, but it was kind of personalization. As you can see, here's the variable, and I was kind of AI was going through the website, was trying to get the service that they provide. I'm not sure why it's document automation for the vet clinics, but whatever. We'll build the AI system trained on your website. It can automate 70% of tasks that your sales reps have. Okay, great. No, you need to have, we will do this task for you. So, and this is why it's very important that you really understand the niche. So if you would, own a vet clinic, you would understand probably 10-20 basic processes that they do every day. And if you say, hey, we would do this specifically for you, and by doing this we'll bring X, and if we don't, you don't pay, we'll also build the prototype, the demo. This is kind of becomes more interesting, right? At least it doesn't mean that you'll get 4 or 5% reply rate. It's just more about explaining people what you can bring and showing them the actual path, because they're not gonna do it themselves. So, and why I was saying this, like, obviously you can do this through the cold emails, but then you book the calls, right? So I booked a lot of calls, especially when I was starting out. Like right now, my booking rate is much lower. Maybe it's because of the competition, maybe because I have very specific offers, so my calls are more qualified, but still, like, I would, probably close not one, but maybe like 3-4 clients. And if one client is like $5,000-$7,000, you can see how much money I would have made if I would, do these things. And it's hard. It's hard because you need to understand the niche and you need to test a lot of different offers. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. By the way, I have a free newsletter where I share all the details about my agency, about what I currently do, as well as all the templates that I have on this channel are available for free in my resource hub. First link in the description, so you subscribe, get notifications from me every week, just some more info that I don't post on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, peace.